Tonight's performance stars a group of culinary daredevils frying what at first glance looks like the leftover balloons from a clown's bargain bin birthday party. Sadly, no, these aren't latex decorations, but the intestines of some unfortunate creature, or possibly an alien that crash-landed nearby. Into the pan they go, sizzling in oil blacker than industrial tar. As the heat rises, the tubes puff up like inflatable life jackets, releasing a succulent juice, which is just a polite way of saying fermented leftovers trapped inside. Once properly bloated, the intestines are hauled out, chopped with the precision of a horror movie surgeon, and sprinkled generously with herbs and spices. Not for flavor, of course, only to camouflage the unmistakable taste of pure, uncut excrement. A true masterpiece of gastronomy, if your goal is to weaponize diarrhea. And now, ladies and gentlemen, dessert, because in this kitchen, waste is a crime and sanity is optional. Forget flour, eggs, or sugar. Here the star ingredient is none other than fresh polyurethane foam, scraped lovingly from the construction site across the street. The same magical substance used to plug holes in walls and keep cockroaches from renting an apartment is now rebranded as cake batter. With all the confidence of a Michelin-starred lunatic, the chef squeezes this foamy goo straight into a pan of oil so black it could lube a tractor engine. It hisses, it bubbles, it mutates, until finally it emerges. A glorious sponge cake from the underworld, equal parts dessert and building material. And the best part? They eat it. Yes, they actually sink their teeth into this insulation miracle. One bite, and suddenly your body is wrapped in thermal protection so efficient you could survive a blizzard naked. Another bite, and your ears start ringing like a church bell, because apparently this cake doubles as a soundproofing device from the inside out. This isn't just food, it's home renovation. A dessert so versatile it keeps you warm, keeps you deaf, and keeps your local hardware store in business. Bon appetit if you dare to swallow construction supplies with a side of regret. Behold the culinary genius who decided that the world needed 300 sausages tied up like hostages in a butcher's ransom note. Each one carefully strangled with its own plastic leash, because apparently retirement hobbies now include arts, crafts, and assisted food suicide. With saintly patience, our chef lowers this writhing bundle into a cauldron of boiling oil. Not just cooking, this is a chemical experiment where pork meets polymer, where sausage flavor is lovingly fused with melted microplastics. It's less a recipe and more a toxic Avengers origin story. Is it a life hack? Sure, if you're retired, have 3 days to waste tying knots, and your dream dinner is the unholy marriage of hot oil, choking hazards, and the faint aroma of burning Tupperware. Congratulations, you've invented the first edible PVC pipe. Enter the high priestesses of culinary chaos, who look at 2 watermelons and think, why slice when you can deep fry the entire planet? Into the cauldron of boiling oil they go. 2 deformed melons, dropped whole, sizzling like meteorites crashing into a volcano. When it's time to retrieve them, forget tongs or ladles. No, they whip out the same giant pool net used to fish out dead insects from the hotel jacuzzi. Out come the melons, steaming, blistered, and somehow angrier than before. But the ritual doesn't end there. Out come the chemicals, powders, and mystery potions. At this point, it's less cooking and more medieval alchemy. Hours of stirring, sprinkling, and conjuring finally produce the grand finale. An enormous slab of fried watermelon gelatin, a wobbly red monolith of pure regret. It's not fruit, it's not dessert, it's a culinary Frankenstein, the world's first radioactive jello, forged in fire and trauma. Welcome, brave souls, to the banquet of nightmares. First course, the wigs. Not noodles, wigs. Thin, greasy strands yanked straight off a scarecrow's head and dumped into boiling oil blacker than a mechanic's sink. They twist, they writhe, they bubble, until the pot looks like Medusa herself taking a hot bath. Next, the meat. Not tenderized, not minced, annihilated. 2 machetes come down with the fury of a thunderstorm, reducing the flesh into microscopic dust. A meaty powder so fine it could be snorted instead of eaten. It's less cooking, more a live dismemberment with extra percussion. And then for that magical herbal touch, they sweep the backyard clean. Yes, crispy, brown, insect-seasoned leaves, straight from the rake to the frying pan. Tossed in with the boiling wigs, they sizzle and curl, transforming the kitchen into a crematorium for autumn itself. Finally, it all unites in one hellish stir-fry. Tangled wig pasta, pulverized carcass dust, and backyard compost, fused together into a dish that defies God, nature, and common sense. This isn't dinner, it's a hairstyle served with garden waste, garnished with trauma, and plated straight from the seventh circle of culinary hell. Ah, the durian, spiky, mysterious, and apparently captivating enough to gather a dedicated audience. Our talented fruit handler approaches the task with admirable skill, though it's unclear whether the real attraction is the technique or the unexpected physics demonstration happening alongside it. With each precise cut, the durian jiggles, shifts, and responds to her every movement. Meanwhile, the crowd, mostly single men, stands eerily still, hands deep in their pockets, rhythmically counting their coins. The air is thick with concentration, though it's safe to say no one is here for a cooking lesson. At last, the durian splits open, revealing its soft, creamy center. A round of subtle throat-clearing ripples through the crowd. Some pretend to admire the fruit. Others suddenly remember they need to buy absolutely nothing. And just like that, the most educational fruit demonstration of the year comes to an end. Thai street food is a world of bold flavors, sizzling woks, and, apparently, a dress code set by the Department of Distraction. In this highly specialized gastronomic experience, the key ingredient isn't in the pan, it's in the strategic placement of the camera. First up, the noodle chef. Noodles swirl, the wok hisses, and yet somehow, I couldn't tell you if she was making pad thai or microwaving instant ramen. Then the ramen specialist, a beautiful, delicate art, hand-pulled noodles, rich broth, complex flavors. At least I assume so. I have no evidence to support this claim because my brain registered nothing but gravity-defying physics. Somewhere, a chef in Japan is crying. Next, the butcher, knife in one hand, an unholy level of movement in the other. Meat is being sliced, but the real spectacle? The unnecessary but deeply appreciated choreography. The meat isn't the only thing being tenderized in this scene. Finally, the soup stir, a simple, innocent act. A ladle, a pot, a rhythmic motion that somehow transcends the boundaries of cooking and enters a realm previously studied only by theoretical physicists. If you told me she was stirring cement, I'd believe you. Not because I saw it, but because I was too busy having an out-of-body experience. Is this a showcase of street food mastery or the most effective thirst trap in culinary history? Michelin stars won't be awarded, but let's be honest, no one was here for the food.